Educational Communications and this station present Environmental Directions with Nancy Pearlman. On this series, we explore the effects of human influence on the Earth's ecosystems and discuss solutions to environmental problems which affect the quality of life on this planet. Environmental Directions gives you the kind of information you need to help you participate in decisions impacting your community, the nation, and the world. Now, here's your host, Nancy Pearlman.
Hello. We are going to be talking about soaps with my guest, Dave Landis. He is CEO and founder of Winjulon Whole Body Care, or Cancer and Alopecia Research Endeavor. He is also founder and CEO of Rebel Lux Management, a rock music-inspired lifestyle company. Welcome. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Nancy. It's a pleasure to be here.
Your journey into creating healthy lifestyles through toxic-free body care products is one that really is so important, because I don't think most people realize that the average soap that they are using every single day is probably unhealthy to them. Why is that?
First, they're completely chemical laden. With that, you're dealing with three major chemicals called parabens, sulfates, and phthalates. And essentially what those ingredients are doing is they are a detergent. You are basically, with your mainstream commercial soap, putting detergent on your body, the same kind of detergent that is used to clean cars, the same kind of detergent that is used to clean clothes. You are putting on your most important organ, your largest organ, which is your skin.
I also have read where a lot of soap products use formaldehyde, and formaldehyde-releasing agents are found in antibacterial soaps and are classified as a human carcinogen. I, for one, am allergic to formaldehyde. How do I make sure that I'm not using improper soaps? Just always use good, healthy soaps that you produce?
Well, ideally, yes. Soap in itself should be a very, very simple product in terms of the ingredients being used. What we do at Winjulon is we made sure that there was absolutely no synthetic chemicals used in any of our products. While it took quite a while to get the formula exactly right, from the get-go, there were no actual chemicals, I would say synthetic chemicals, used in our products. Now, if you were to look at our ingredients, you would see something called potassium chloride. Well, potassium chloride is a completely natural chemical that is otherwise known as lye, and that's what makes soap soap. But aside from that, the only other ingredients in our products are natural essential oils and plant-based powders.
Let's talk about some of those ingredients, because one is yucca root powder. And I remember in my anthropology class in high school, we went out, took the yucca, and made soap straight from the yucca plant. So
Correct.
It's still working.
Correct. There were two reasons that we used yucca in our products. One is because we are a New Mexico-based company. The state plant of New Mexico is yucca. It's a completely regenerative plant, so if you tear it up, it regenerates and regrows. Number two, it creates the sudsing effect that so many of the other mainstream soaps use chemicals to create. People have this idea, if you will, that if the soap is showing some sort of sudsing on their skin or in their hair products, that it's working. Well, that's not necessarily true, because these chemicals that I was referring to earlier, like sulfates, create that sudsing effect. But that's the detergent component. So yucca replaces that chemical with a natural plant, a healthy plant, that essentially creates the exact same effect of, oh, wow, it's sudsing, so it must be working, when actually it is working. So yeah, we rely very heavily on yucca because of those two ideas of being New Mexico-based and what it actually does.
People are so misled by what they think is necessary in a product. Like vacuum cleaners could be quiet, but people think that it doesn't have any power if they don't make noise.
Exactly.
I'm concerned, though, about some of your other ingredients. Palm oil traditionally means tearing down the rainforest, destroying wildlife habitat, but you use organic palm oil, and you're making sure that the rainforests aren't cut down to obtain that item?
That is correct. When we were working with our manufacturer, who's based up in Oregon and is certified by Oregon Tilth, which is a vegan certifying organization. We spoke with them specifically about the palm oil in their base ingredients, and they assured us that the palm oil that is used in soap is completely different. The way that they get it is completely different than the palm oil that you're hearing about that's destroying the rainforests and the orangutans' homes. So I was very concerned when we saw palm oil in their base and spoke to them at length about this, and they said absolutely not. It's a completely different form of palm oil, and the way they get it is not harmful to the environment from which it comes.
When I interview people who have new products that are very good, ecological, sustainable, I also want to be sure that your manufacturing process is ecological and sustainable. I haven't been to your factory. Where do you put the product together? And are you making sure you're not polluting the air, the water, the land surrounding your facilities?
Our product is manufactured at a factory in Oregon. They have numerous certifications for environmental and vegan. I mean, I can't give out the name, but they absolutely are top tier because this is as important to them as it is to us.
Where do you obtain your organic coconut oil and organic olive oil? Because it's great that you're getting organic products which don't use pesticides and herbicides, but of course there are fewer farms that grow items organically, and of course that also increases your costs.
Slightly, we work with suppliers who really make it absolutely pertinent that their ingredients are organic. One of the reasons that we insisted on so many organic ingredients is because of the cancer history of why this brand was initially founded. Yes, we work with suppliers that assure us beyond a shadow of a doubt by showing certifications that these are absolute vegan organic product, so that we can tell the customer you are getting the cleanest product that we could possibly make for you.
This is so important that companies do trust their suppliers and that the suppliers have the necessary certification or information to show that they are doing what they say they are doing. I find it interesting that you have an item that people eat in the morning, oatmeal, but you use a special kind of oatmeal?
No, it's actually food-grade oatmeal. Colloidal oatmeal is food-grade. You could eat it if you wanted to take it out of the soap. It just wouldn't taste very good.
Don't eat your soap.
Precisely. But we do tend to try and market our company slightly as soap so natural you could almost eat it. It's almost food-grade, and I say almost because you'd still be eating a bar of soap. So
the soap is soft to the skin. It feels good. It's healthy for the environment. It's healthy for the body. But why are there so many people buying antibacterial soaps? Because that really isn't necessary, is it? Just good old soap does the job even better.
If you think about it, in so many ways it does. Because even though the lifespan of earlier generations wasn't necessarily as long, they lived a cleaner lifestyle. They lived a more natural lifestyle. But in today's information age where everything is just thrown at you so fast and with such power, people hear the term antibacterial, oh, well, it's got to be good. Bacteria is bad, so I'll just grab it. And they don't necessarily do the research because their attention's being drawn in so many other different directions. But what we're starting to see is a major transition, especially with the younger generations. They are really starting to research ingredients and saying, look, my grandparents had this disease. My parents are starting to get this disease. How do I avoid that situation from happening to me? So they are actually being very adamant about researching what exactly they're ingesting, what exactly they're putting on their bodies and in their hair, and even with makeup. They are seeking out beauty brands, cosmetic brands that are not using harsh chemicals anymore.
There are many new companies out there creating new toxic-free personal body care products. Mm-hmm. How big is your competition, and are you happy to have it?
Our competition is quite large in a couple of areas. It's large in the sensitive skin area, and it's large in the toxin-free area. Wenjalon, though, is unique for two reasons. Because it is really one of the very few brands that is truly marketing to those who have been touched by cancer, whether directly as a patient, as a diagnosed patient, or indirectly indirectly as the loved one of a patient. So, for example, my lifestyle changed because of my wife's condition. I haven't had cancer. In fact, my physical, they said, you're healthy as anything. But it was very important to me, not just to support her at the time, but because I didn't want to go through what she was going through. So I made the change with her.
What does the name Windulon mean?
I wanted a name that sounded European. I didn't want just some random, I mean, it is kind of a random name, but I didn't want something that wouldn't be memorable. So we designed this brand to be a couple of things. One, to be a source of confidence and comfort, but also to be something of an eco-luxury brand as well. We wanted people who are willing to spend $9 or $10 for a bar of soap to feel like they are getting a luxury product. And it was important for me to have a name that reflected that. And Wendulon just kind of came to me. The idea was to have a European-inspired name like Clinique, La Mer, L'Occitane, Wendulon.
You mentioned that you're an eco-luxury line, but so many people do have to be careful about how much they spend on products. What is the turning point where you can provide these superb items at a lower cost so that the average person who can't afford to spend a lot of money on soap can afford to use your product?
Well, we were very, very careful about how we priced our product because while we're certainly not cheap, we are also not as expensive as our competitors. So, for example, a brand like L'Occitane is going to be about $3 more per bar for the same size that we are. One of the compliments that we have received from one of our customers was, I wish they didn't make the product so good because I'm still using it and I've had it now for 3 months. They're actually investing in a long-lasting quality product that's not going to just run out on them after 4 showers.
That is a very important point. I find it interesting that you started with an online store focused on rock music-oriented fashion. You'll have to explain what that's about, something called Rocker Rags, and yet you have moved into this area of toxic-free body care because you have a very personal story to tell how and why you want people who have been affected by cancer or sensitive skin to have a healthier lifestyle journey.
Yes. So I came from the music industry where I started in 1998 through various components of the music and radio industry and wound up starting an online store called Rocker Rags, which is still in business. It's not over. It's still very much going and focused on primarily licensed merchandise from the biggest rock bands in the world. The transition occurred to creating Wendulon Whole Body Care was my wife was diagnosed with cancer. A couple of things happened while she was going through treatment, which she survived. She would talk with other patients and they would ask these questions because they were all in a big room together or in a waiting room together, and they would start talking and they would start asking each other, I don't know how I got this. What did I use? What did I eat? What did I do? And it kind of incentivized her to start taking a very deep look at what may have helped bring this on for her. So she started researching out products and ingredients and found that there was a big gap in body care, that those who have been touched by cancer, either directly as a diagnosed patient or indirectly as a loved one who hasn't necessarily had cancer but wants to make a change in their life, could feel confident using. So while in no way, shape, or form does Wendulon Whole Body Care make a health claim in terms of if you use this, you won't get cancer. Absolutely not. Or if you have cancer, this is the product to use because it'll help cure you. No, that's not what we're trying to say. What we're saying is we have products that do not have any sort of carcinogenic ingredients that is going to worsen your condition and or help bring a reoccurrence. Our products are all natural. You can feel confident and comfortable that what you're putting on your largest organ will not hurt you.
I appreciate the fact that you do donate to research and those in need health-wise. Are you donating your product to those who are suffering natural disasters, earthquakes, fires, tornadoes?
Not at this time, simply because we don't have the inventory in stock to do everything. We're a new brand, and so those kinds of initiatives are more in line with a little bit further down the road as the brand becomes a little bit bigger, and we can literally afford to separate our inventory a little bit more directly.
I hope you get bigger.
Thank you.
Where can people find out about all of your products? What are all of them? And what is your website?
Actually, that can all be answered kind of circularly. So they can find out about the products and get them at wendulon.com, which is our direct-to-consumer website. It's wendulon.com, W-E-N as in Norman, J-U-L-A-N as in Norman.com.
How many products are there that you have created?
Right now, we have 3 soap bars and an unscented body wash, and we definitely have a lot more product that we are going to be launching here in the not-too-distant future. We want to be moving into hair care for a couple of reasons. One of those is, as we mentioned in the understanding of the acronym CARE, which you referenced early on, which stands for Cancer and Alopecia Research Endeavor. We chose alopecia to help support because of the hair loss that so many people, including my wife at the time, incur during chemotherapy. And we felt it was very important because of the emotional strain that losing hair can put on somebody. Imagine having that disease as a regular occurrence throughout your life where hair grows back and you lose it, and hair grows back and you lose it. So we understand the emotional turmoil that that can bring and wanted to support the alopecia community. So what CARE is all about, the Cancer and Alopecia Research Endeavor, is that a percentage of every product sold of Wendulon, whether it's to stores, salons, or to the consumer directly, a percentage of that goes to both cancer and alopecia research foundations who are actively seeking cures and supporting cures for these 2 diseases.
That is such important work, and I'm so pleased that you have created a wonderful product that's healthy, that's safe for both humans and the environment. Thank you so very much for being my guest.
You're very welcome, and thank you for the opportunity.
I have been speaking with Dave Landis, who is CEO and founder of Wendulon Whole Body Care. I'm Nancy Pearlman. Thank you very much for joining us, and do tune in again next week.
If you would like free information about these environmental issues, go to www.ecoprojects.org or call 310-559-9160. Environmental Directions with your host, Nancy Pearlman, is a community affairs program of the nonprofit organization Educational Communications and this station.